Hi, my name is Tina Barwick and I'm the Global Process Improvement Manager for the Fair Labor Association. The Fair Labor Association was established with the help of leaders like former President Bill Clinton in the mid-90s. The organization was formed to protect workers' rights worldwide. So many of the products we enjoy and use every day in the U.S. are made by men and women in factories and on farms around the world. Unfortunately, many of them work in deplorable conditions. The Fair Labor Association collaborates with partners like the Ethical Trading Initiative, an organization with similar programs to ensure workers' rights are protected. I'm here today to talk to you about some of the oversight and accreditations that FLA has put into place, some of the types of abuses and non-compliance issues, protections for workers' rights, sustainable compliance, process improvement, which includes prevention and follow-up, and then we're going to conclude and go over all of these key points. Since 1999, FLA has helped to improve workers' lives by holding affiliated companies accountable, conducting external assessments, and creating a space for civil society organizations to engage with companies. Some of the types of abuses and non-compliance issues that are prevalent are forced labor, child labor, harassment, discrimination, health and safety issues, freedom of association, wages, benefit, and overtime, hours of work. Some of these issues have gone to the point where workers are forced to work more than 60 hours per week. They are threatened for having relationships with groups that help protect their rights, and they are harassed and abused. Workers as young as 15 have been involved in some of these cases. One of the next issues we're going to talk about that FLA had to do some oversight on were the code of conducts that were in place for the organization. They developed a code of conduct with 9 key elements that help to protect workers' rights. These key elements include employment relationships, harassment, child labor, health, safety, and environment, compensation, non-discrimination, forced labor, freedom of association, and hours of work, as we just mentioned. Part of what the companies are doing now are being accredited as sustainable compliance companies. This would include a review of policies, procedures, and other management documents in consultation with local civil society organizations to identify the problems that exist. It also maps out the facility's structure and workflow for each employment function, which helps the folks that go in and do the audits to understand and what to look for. Then there's a collection of data through targeted management interviews and visual observation, meaning the auditors go into the facilities and they do unscheduled visits and also do reports to collect the data into a standardized reporting tool to generate meaningful factory data, which is then translated into findings and used to set action priorities. Some of the process improvements that are in place currently strengthen protections for workers' rights. They're innovative and they're going to shift the focus in social compliance from policing to finding solutions for these issues. They're going to hold companies accountable for treating workers fairly, and they're going to address global issues through third-party complaints and investigations. The FLA audits and workers impacted in 2011, as shown on this slide, were 141 audits that were done. There were 185,437 workers in factories that received FLA audits. 4,787 total number of factories used by the FLA affiliates, and 5,545,439 estimated number of workers impacted by the FLA program, which is very significant. Some of the preventative measures and follow-up methods that are in place include 3 key elements. That would be SCOPE, which is an anonymous employee survey program that FLA created for workers to be able to be transparent in their reporting of noncompliance issues. Also, independent external monitoring, which is done by FLA, which are unannounced factory visits used to monitor compliance in factories. And thirdly, are independent external verifications, which are follow-ups on prior violations to ensure corrective action has been taken on noncompliance issues. Some of the examples of surveys are included on the slides, and they would include the following categories: information, consultation, communication, integration, and awareness. And these are all done based on scales of 1 to 5 scores, and the employees do these confidentially and submit these to auditors. The first of those is the worker participation survey that fell under those categories. Next, we would have grievance procedures, which include policy and procedure, communication, training, implementation, quality of responsible personnel, documentation, integration, and awareness. Lastly, in concluding and overviewing the key points, the Fair Labor Association and its partners are committed to implementing and sustaining processes that promote transparency and accountability, that strengthen protection for workers' rights around the world. Thank you.
Amen. All right. Very important.